Father, please help us.
Facing an inferno, racing to safety.
Got out with it right on our tail.
Border to border, the entire state of California is on high alert.
If you're ready to go, go. And if you're being told to go, get out of there.
Deadly, explosive, and out of control. Right now, 3 wildfires are raging across California, threatening homes and thousands of lives. In Northern California, the Camp wildfire has almost wiped out an entire town. And 2 other wildfires, the Woolsey and Hill fires, have forced 100,000 people from their homes in Southern California.
The damage from these fires is absolutely staggering. Firefighters from all over the state are trying to protect homes, both on the ground and from the air.
Hillsides are just striped in red from the flame retardant that's used to try to contain the fires. Let's take a live look right now at a car that is on fire. This has been happening throughout that area, as many people have had to abandon their cars as they're trying to drive to safety.
Sadly, 5 people have died while trying to escape from the Camp fire. Take a look at this, an eerie sight along this highway near the town of Paradise. All of these cars were abandoned by people running from the flames. The Camp fire has burned now more than 70,000 acres.
And this is what people faced as they left their homes. The man who took this video had his young daughter with him. She tells him they should go home. As they continued to drive to safety, you can feel the tension.
I'm gonna stay away from it, okay? Yeah. Yep.
The Woolsey.
How about that? The Woolsey fire and the Hill wildfire combined have burned about 20,000 acres outside of Los Angeles. Part of Paramount Studios was damaged, and a place called The Ranch, which has been used in countless Western movies, was destroyed by the flames.
The Seahawks opponents this weekend will have other things on their minds. Today, the LA Rams had to cancel practice because 20 players and coaches had to evacuate their homes. The team's practice facility is in Thousand Oaks, not far from where the Hill and Woolsey fires are burning. Tomorrow, the team will practice at USC. And look at this. It's a new satellite image showing the massive amount of smoke that is coming up from the Camp wildfire. Coming up in just about 10 minutes, we'll have a live report from Butte County, where that fire is still growing tonight.
Today, one less person of strength and character stands beside us.
Tears and a few laughs to remember the life of Deputy Daniel McCartney, a protector, a husband, and a father.
You can't go up and wrap your arms around her and the boys, and if I could, I would.
A heartbroken community saying one final thank you to a fallen hero.
Out of service. Gone, but not forgotten.
Hundreds of law enforcement officers and other first responders came out today to honor the slain deputy.
Along the procession route on the way to the service, many of the same people who Deputy Daniel McCartney protected on a daily basis lined roads and sidewalks in tribute, as if to say thank you.
So it is absolute destruction.
Roofs collapsed, roads crumbled, nerves rattled. A 7.0 quake shakes Anchorage, Alaska.
It actually brought me to my knees. I couldn't stand anymore.
The threat of more aftershocks continues tonight.
Yeah, I'm just scared it's going to happen again, but it was absolutely terrifying.
Tonight, the power is still out and the damages are being added up from today's powerful earthquake and continued aftershocks.
A longtime Alaskan residents say they've never felt anything quite as powerful as what they felt this morning. One family's security camera caught the moment the earthquake hit and then the panic that followed. Boy, pretty amazing. This video was taken inside a home in West Anchorage. So far, we haven't heard about anyone being seriously injured, but the damage to buildings and roads is being called significant. Alaska's governor has issued a disaster declaration and is working with the White House to get the area the help that it needs.
And the damage is extensive. The mayor of Anchorage reminded people today how big his city is. It's nearly 2,000 square miles. That's bigger than the state of Rhode Island. Damages to the roads is staggering. This is new video of the scenic Glen Highway that leads out of Anchorage, and you can see the giant hole that swallowed some of the lanes. The roads are so bad, schools have already been canceled for parts of next week.
Well, there hasn't been a moment to relax in Alaska. Here's a look at the dozens of aftershocks around Anchorage. A bunch of them. They have kept people living there on edge throughout the day. KOMO's Cale Thompson was right in the middle of an interview with a man who rode out this morning's quake when one of those aftershocks hits.
There's another quake happening right now.
Michael Kelsey kept his cool.
It's a big one.
Even as another aftershock rocked his home while we were video chatting this afternoon.
Wow, that was a ripper. That was probably a 5 or better.
5.1 according to the USGS, and not the only one during our call.
There's another one. There's another quake right there.
Video from another home shows exactly what Michael experienced in his own at 8:29 this morning.
It just started so quickly and so suddenly, and everything started jerking around. Boom, 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 boom. You know, it was that bad. It just started throwing me around.
His wife was in Midtown and stuck.
Fire trucks flying everywhere. Yeah, that was 10 minutes ago when I actually got through on the phone to her.
She's okay after the worst quake Michael says he's ever felt.
There's not much you can do. It is what it is, buddy, when it comes to a big one like that. Nobody can tell when it's going to happen. It just happens.
Cale Thompson, KOMO News.
For hours today, no flights were getting in or out of the airport in Anchorage. Cell phone video during the earthquake shows the frantic scene as travelers ducked for cover. Alaska Airlines resumed flights earlier this afternoon, and the first flight from Alaska should arrive at SeaTac within the hour. Well, the possibility of a tsunami reaching the Washington coast had everyone there on alert this morning. The warning was quickly canceled, but KOMO's Keith Eldridge says it was a good reminder to have stuff ready to go in a hurry.
People on the shoreline are watching the water in case any aftershocks produce waves.
KOMO News starts right now.
Right now, May Day marches and rallies are in full swing across western Washington. This is a live look from Air 4. The March for Immigrant and Worker Rights left Judkins Park an hour and a half ago. They have now arrived in downtown Seattle with a final stop at the ICE offices to come. Police are out there as well on high alert. They're in force trying to keep everyone safe tonight.
Yeah, we've seen some of the counter-protesters meet up with that larger mark for immigrants and workers' rights as they made their way downtown. We have May Day team coverage for you tonight from downtown Seattle all the way to the South Sound. And we begin with KOMO's Steve McCarran, who is live in Westlake Park. Steve, what's going on out there right now?
Eric, we are on the move heading east on Pine right now. Assuming we're heading to Capitol Hill, we are with the so-called Patriot Group that started an event at 3 o'clock this afternoon at Westlake Park. You can see they're kind of headed east up the street here on Pine, blasting some music along the way here as they head past the Paramount Theater.
Officer Diego Moreno, 2 King 56, out of service.
For those of you who do not know Diego, words do not do him justice.
Diego's the most thoughtful friend I've ever had.
He was a man. He's a legend. He's a hero. He's my son.
Boy, it was something else. Officer Moreno's family and friends say that he lived life at 1,000 miles an hour.
He always had that infectious smile, treating everyone with love and respect, even those he had to arrest. KOMO's Keith Eldridge is live at the Showware Center in Kent, where law enforcement and the community came together to pay tribute. Keith?
Yeah, they absolutely did. And this could have been a day of real sadness, real sorrow. But the friends and family of Diego Moreno say that he wouldn't have wanted it that way. He would have wanted them to be all smiles, just like his. They streamed in from all over the northwestern states and Canada. Officers, deputies, troopers, first responders, many escorted by their spouses, all grieving the loss of Officer Diego Moreno, all here for his farewell. The Showware Center is big. People here say it was needed to fill the big hole left behind.
Let there be no question, Officer Diego Moreno served his community with honor, courage, professionalism, and a true love for his people.
Moreno was killed July 22nd while trying to stop a fleeing car with spike strips. He was hit by a fellow officer, Mark Williams. Moreno's mother, Lizzie Lee, made sure her family reached out to him.
To Mark, we love you. As Diego's stepdad, my adorable husband Randy told you in the hospital, you are our family now. We have adopted you. Our home is your home.
Moreno had only been on the force 8 years.
I never ever thought that I would be a cop. I love it. I'm not tired of it. I love the challenge. I love learning new things. I love the schedule. I love the benefits. I love the friends that I've made here.
And his fellow officers and families say he loved every minute of it. Awarded 3 times for saving lives, a child from drowning, an elderly woman from a burning home, a woman who was overdosing. He was a loving husband and adored his 2 young children.
You think I'm cute?
His wife, Shelley, has been outwardly strong throughout, addressing a public gathering last week and now today his memorial.
Diego's ability to play was unmatched. He was loud and wild and persistent. Without a doubt, he was my man-child, and he was well loved for it.
The final radio call.
Gone, but never forgotten. Control clear.
Moments for everybody today, but again, that infectious smile just overtook everyone here. This is the area where all the officers had been lined up, and just moments ago they all took off, many of them returning home, some of them going straight back on the job tonight, protecting the community. Live in Kent, Keith Eldridge, KOMO News.
And today was filled with so many people sharing their favorite memories of Officer Moreno. And just a short time ago, we heard from his sister-in-law, who acknowledged the new family they're now a part of.
Our hearts are broken, yet we're strong. Because the support network that Diego built during his life was nothing short of incredible. From this, we've learned that in tragedy, we're bonded, and people are good. So thank you, sincerely, for all your support and for loving him.
Now, there is a fund at a bank set up to benefit the family, but I do want to show you this GoFundMe page created by friends and just how much it has over-exceeded the original goal, which was $1,000. At last check right now, it's at $66,500.
She said it. People are good. The life of Officer Moreno was honored all over Western Washington today. Even this ship in Elliott Bay had its flag at half-mast. Flags across the state flew at half-staff for the fallen officer. And there was a very symbolic and emotional escort for the officer's family this morning. A riderless horse guided them to the service. That horse is a symbol of a warrior that does not return from battle. Here's another perspective of the procession. UW police were among the 700 police and fire personnel that took part in the procession. They posted this video on Twitter. Over 325 vehicles from about 90 departments drove the route, including one from Officer Diego's alma mater, Washington State University. And front and center today at the service, not just any Washington State Cougs flag, it's the College Game Day flag. And Cougs, you know how important that one is. The university sent it to honor Officer Moreno. We've been told over and over again about how much Diego loved his Cougs.
There was a huge show of support in the streets of Kent as well. Hundreds of people lining that procession route to pay their respects to fallen Officer Moreno. KOMO's Kara Kosnich was there and joins us live with more. Kara?